Well, welcome back, guys. Today I am playing with my Toyota Tundra. So my 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Sport has the factory Apple CarPlay. It is not the JBL system that comes in like the 1794 package or the Platinum package. It sounds pretty good. It's just missing some low end. You know, it really needs a little more bass, a little more kick in the butt. So I did a little bit of hunting and found a guy who was selling used James Randy Taylor Tech 12 volts single 10-inch subwoofer box, an Infinity speaker in a tuned ported enclosure made specific for the Tundra Crew Max. It actually fits behind the back seat against the wall. You unbolt the seat, 4 bolts comes out, and then this box goes in behind the driver's side 60 portion, I guess they call it, a 60-40 split bench. So behind the wider side of the seat. So I got that. Just unbolt the bolts, set it back there, put the bolts back in. That was pretty simple. And then I ran, speaker wire from there behind underneath the carpet across the back, and then underneath the kick panels up underneath the passenger front seat where I intend to install my amplifier. So now I've got this pile of stuff going on. So what I did is I picked up just a basic subwoofer amplifier install kit, 500 watts, which comes with some power wire, ground wire, remote wire, an RCA cable set, and an inline fuse for your power cable. So we're gonna get that wire ran. Again, I plan to install my amplifier underneath the passenger seat. So we're gonna do that. I also picked up from eBay a line signal converter. So this supposedly plugs into the back of our stereo system and gives us an RCA output set that we can run to dedicate to this amplifier, so that we're not interrupting the speaker signal going to any of the factory sound system. We're just kind of splicing into it and getting that extra output that we need to run the sub amp. So that is going to involve removing the dash, get to the back of the radio, get this plugged in, and run an RCA line set also down to under the seat. So I may show you bits and portions of some of that routing, but again. All right, so just a quick tutorial. But basically, you can grab your dash lower center section there. If you can get behind the edges of it, you can pull it straight out. I was able to reach down behind it with a little thin screwdriver, undo the plugs, just pushing in on the different various release clips and stuff to release those plugs. And then the radio has, 4 10mm bolts that hold it in at the outer face and then way in the back. Once you remove those 4 bolts, it does have some extra plastic clip fasteners on the top edge there, but you're able to pull the radio straight out, and that allows you access to the plug, which is here on the passenger side top of the radio, which is where your little T-connector harness plugs in to get your RCA signal. So unplugged that, plugged my little connector in between the two, and then now I will run my RCA cable wiring down to my amp location. So pretty simple, cut and dried stuff. So on this passenger side panel that goes up under the radio, there are 3 tabs here that you need to push back or push towards the firewall, the front of the truck. And as you push those in, you can pop each section down. And then there's this last tab that's locking straight up underneath the center console side of the glove box here. So pull that section straight down, and then these 2 tabs go into provisions on the firewall. So you can just twist that out of there. That gets that out of the way, allows us access to drag that wire down from the radio area down and get it tucked under the carpet over here. So next, for running the wire, we're going to pull up this kick panel area, which is just push locked in. Just simply pry that up. We'll pop it out of the way. And then you pull the panel here by your right foot when you're sitting in the seat. There is a nut that is spun on that little stud back there. So this little plastic nut is spun onto that stud, and then this panel pulls straight back towards you, and that gives you the availability to run your wiring and tuck it nicely in this channel. And then we're gonna go under the carpet, up under the seat. So the power wire I ran, there's a big wiring harness loom coming through the passenger side firewall. And so I took the opportunity to utilize that grommet and ran my wire through that, poked through the outer portion of it, and then being careful not to rub into any of the factory wiring, and taped my power wire to a piece of cut coat hanger, pushed it through that rubber, and then grabbed it from the inside with a pair of pliers and was able to pull it through. So now we're gonna route the wiring under the hood, get across to the battery, and install the fuse, which we'll put in last before we fire the system up, but get this all routed out and tied up. All right, so here's the final result. You can't even really tell that there is a speaker box behind the seat. Like, it's back there, but you can't really tell it's back there, which is awesome. And then you can't really tell that there's anything going on up front either, right? Like the radio dash, everything looks normal. So it's only if you have a really keen eye and you're underneath that you can see there's an amplifier underneath the passenger seat, which it's kind of wedged in there. I put a little Velcro under the bottom, so it's kind of stuck, but yeah. So using an old school Majestic amplifier, which has the like crossover built into it, so I can knock the high range stuff out of that music going to the amplifier, or going out to the subwoofer. And so that's pretty cool. The bass then I'm able to turn down on the radio quite a ways. So we're cutting the bass. It's not as good as having an actual crossover, but we're cutting the bass to the factory speakers, the, you know, door speakers, dash speakers. And then, you know, by ramping the gain up slightly on the amp, it's picking those bass signals back up and sending them to the subwoofer, giving us a good sound overall, taking some of the distortion out of the factory door speakers. And I've been rocking it now for a week or so, and I'm super happy with the outcome. Sounds really good, and it was a fun little project, and now I can drive around and pretend I'm 18 again. Thanks for watching.